Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to make this autumn aesthetic shoulder bag. So let's get into it. So for today's project I'm using a bunch of different colour yarn. I'm using all double knit and these are all obviously within the theme of the autumnal aesthetic. So use any yarn you want, but obviously make sure that you're using a hook that corresponds with that yarn. For example, a chunky yarn might need a bigger hook than I'm using. But yeah, this is all the yarn I'm using. I'm also using this one, which I believe is from Serdar, and it's kind of like this textured bobble yarn. I thought that would be quite interesting to incorporate in the bag for a bit of texture. And then this one also is quite textured, but yeah, I don't know where this is from. I just got this from a charity shop, so I don't know what brand, so I'm sorry about that. But this is all, the rest of it is all just double knit. You can get this pretty much at any wool shop. So yeah, that is the yarn that I'm using. And I'm also using a 3mm hook, some scissors, a sewing needle, and some stitch markers are optional. So with my first colour, I'm just using orange as my first colour. You're going to want to make a chain that equals about roughly 11.5 inches. And for me that was about 56 chains. And then I'm going to add an extra chain for the turning chain. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. And then I'm going to make one half double crochet into each chain across. Once you have completed your half double crochets across the chain, you're then going to start the next row, which is row 2. So I'm just going to turn the work, and then I'm going to start my next half double crochet, but I'm going to just make it in the front loop. So we have these V's going down the project, and you want to just grab the first loop of that V. I'm also going to weave in this end, so I'm going to yarn over, pick up the tail, and then I'm going to insert the hook just into that front loop, like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We're then going to make a second half double crochet into this stitch, so just into that front loop, and what that does is that is going to increase our project by 1 stitch. So I'm now going to yarn over and I'm going to make my half double crochet into the front loop of the next stitch as normal, so no increases, just 1 half double crochet, and I'm going to continue this all the way along, so just 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, but into the front loop only. So I'm going to continue this all the way across, and then I'm going to stop at the very last stitch because that's where we're going to change colour. So I'm grabbing my next colour and I'm just going to make a slip knot so I have it ready, and I'm going to set that aside. So for the last half double crochet that I have, as you can see here, we have our last V, so I'm going to start by making my first half double crochet into the front loop of that V. You want to stop before you yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're then going to finish the half double crochet with our new colour, so place it on the hook and pull through all 3 loops with your new colour, like this. Okay, so that is going to start our next row with the new colour. So for the next row we are going to turn the work, and we're actually going to cut the orange yarn because we don't need that anymore. And we're going to weave it sort of into our next row. So for the next row I'm actually going to make a decrease. So for the next row I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert the hook into the second stitch, the back loop of the second stitch. So as you can see, here is the first stitch, here is the second stitch. I'm going to insert the hook into the back loop of that second stitch. What this does is this skips a stitch. I'm going to make my half double crochet as normal, like that. So what this does is it skips a stitch, which means that the work will now be going inwards. So basically we have the top of our work going down and the bottom of our work going out, because we want to increase the bottom to create the shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1/2 double crochet into each stitch across as normal, but in the back loop only. So I've just completed my 3rd row, and for the 4th row we are going to turn the work and we are going to make 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, but in the front loop only. So remember, just picking up the front loop of that V like that, making my first half a double crochet, and then I'm going to make my second half double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, I'm then going to continue to make 1/2 double crochet into the front loop only all the way across, and then I'm going to stop before we get to the very last stitch because we're going to change colour there. So I've now reached the last stitch of the row, so I'm just going to start the half double crochet as normal into the front loop, and I'm going to finish the half double crochet with my new colour. Okay, so I'm going to grab my new colour, make a slip knot. I'm going to finish the last half double crochet with the new colour, like so. So for the next row we're going to turn the work. We are going to skip the next stitch and we are going to make a half double crochet into the back loop of the next stitch. I'm going to cut the green yarn because we don't need that one anymore. So I'm going to weave those tails in, skip the next stitch, 1/2 double crochet into the back loop of the next stitch. And I'm just going to continue to make 1/2 double crochet into the back loop of each stitch across, so I will meet you back at the last stitch. So I've just finished row 5. For row 6 I'm going to turn the work and I'm going to make 2 half double crochets into the front loop of the first stitch. 1, and that's 2. And then I'm going to make 1 half double crochet into the front loop of each stitch across, stopping before the very last stitch where I'm going to change colour. So I've reached the end of my row. I'm just going to get my next colour ready for the colour change. I'm going to make my last half double crochet into the front loop and I'm going to finish the stitch with my new colour. Like this. So I'm just finishing the stitch with my new colour, and then for the next row I'm going to turn the work and I'm going to cut the previous row's colour. I'm going to skip the next stitch and I'm going to make a half double crochet into the back loop of the second stitch of the row, weaving in these ends as I go. And then I'm going to make 1 half double crochet into each back loop all the way across. I've just finished the 7th row, and for the 8th row I'm going to turn the work and I'm going to do something a bit different. So I'm not going to increase here, I'm just going to make my first half double crochet into the first stitch and I'm only going to make 1, so there's no increases. I'm just going to make it into the front loop of the first stitch, half double crochet, and then I'm going to continue to make 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, and I'm going to meet you back at the end of the row where we will change colour. So just 1 half double crochet into each stitch. So I'm now at the end of my row, so I'm going to get my next colour ready with a slip knot. and I'm going to make my last half double crochet into the front loop only, and I'm going to finish the half double crochet with the next colour like that. Okay, and then just cut the yarn, and then for row 9 I'm going to turn the work and I'm going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing. So I'm going to skip the next stitch and I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to make my half double crochet into the second stitch into the back loop, like so. I'm then going to continue to make 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, and then I'm going to, for row 10, turn the work and I'm just going to make 1 half double crochet into each stitch across and change colour at the end. For the following row, I'm then going, with my new colour, I'm then going to make a decrease. So as you can see here, I've stopped making increases here, and we're just going to be crocheting across. So this stays at a straight line, so no increases anymore here. And here I'm going to continue to make decreases along this edge. So from this point forward, you're going to want to repeat row 7 and 8 until you reach row 16. So I've just finished my 16th row. I'm now going to attach my next colour for the 17th row. Just finishing the stitch with the new colour. Then I'm going to cut the green. From row 17 to row 20, I'm just going to be doing 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, turning the work, and then 1 half double crochet into each stitch across the other way. So there's no increases, there's no decreases for the next 4 rows. So I'm just going to come back once I have finished my 4 rows, and then we're going to start creating the shape of the second half of the bag. So I've just finished the 20th row of my work, and I'm now going to complete my last half double crochet in the back, in the front loop, and I'm going to attach my new colour and finish the half double crochet. And then for row 21, I'm going to turn the work, and I'm going to make 2 half double crochets into the first stitch into the back loop only. So I'm grabbing the back loop, I'm just going to weave these ends in, half double crochet, and then another half double crochet in the same stitch, like that. And then I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way to the end. So I've just finished row 21, and now I'm going to start row 22, so I'm going to turn the work, and this time we're going to be doing the opposite. So we're going to be skipping the first stitch, and we're going to make a half double crochet into the front loop in the second stitch. So now we're doing the opposite, and we're going to be decreasing at this end, and we're going to be increasing at the other end. So now I'm just doing 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. And then once I reach the end, that final stitch, I am going to be changing to the cream colour. So I will come back when we are going to start row 22. So I've just reached the end of row 22 and I have my next colour ready. So I'm going to change colour. Okay, and then for row 23, I'm going to be making an increase into the first stitch. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets into the back loop only. So just grabbing these ends. So that's 1 and 2. And then I'm just going to make 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, and then once I get to row 24, my first stitch is going to be a decrease, and then 1 half double crochet into each stitch across into the front loop, and then switching colours. So hopefully now you kind of understand the sequence that we're going in now. We are increasing at the top of the bag and we're decreasing at the bottom of the bag. So we are going to continue to repeat row 21 and then row 22 until we have reached row 34, and again every second row I'm changing colour, so you're just going to want to repeat the instructions for row 21 and then row 22, and repeat that all the way up until you have 34 rows. So I'm going to come back once I have got my 34 rows, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so I've just finished my last row, and I'm now going to chain 1 and cut the yarn, and then just pull that through. So you're now going to want to make another one of these panels following the same pattern, where we decrease at one end and then increase at one end, and then we just do 4 normal rows in the middle, and then we increase at the top and we decrease at the bottom. So you're going to want to make another one of these panels, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we can attach them together. So I've just finished my second panel, and then I've laid the panels on top of each other so that the right side is on the outside, and now we're going to connect them together. So you're going to take your piece of yarn, I'm using orange, to attach them. If you're right-handed, then you'll start in the top left corner of the bag. I'm left-handed, so I'll be starting in the top right. I'll be working down, across, and then back up. If you're right-handed, you'll be working down, across, and back up, but this way. And we're basically just going to attach both of the panels together. So I'm going to insert the hook into the top right stitch in the corner of the bag, and same for the other side. And then I'm just going to place my slip knot on the hook and pull through, and then chain 1 to attach it. So I'm now going to be making 1 single crochet through both panels all the way down, and then I'm going to turn the work and make 1 single crochet across each through both panels into the spaces. So a lot of these won't be stitches, they'll be more like spaces. So you're just going to want to find the next space of the side of the bag, insert your hook in, and then insert your hook into the back panel, into a stitch or a space in the back panel. I'm just going to weave these ends in and then make a single crochet like that. So into the next space of the front panel and the next space of the back panel, I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm going to continue this all the way along, making a single crochet through both panels. So I'm going to continue this all the way down and then across and then back up, and then once I reach the top left corner, I'm actually going to, instead of crocheting the panels at the top together, I'm only going to single crochet across the front panel, and then I'm going to crochet around and single crochet around the back panel, so just to kind of neaten that edge. So not joining them together and crocheting through the panels, but just crocheting across the edge of the front and then going round the back, and then I will stop here. So yeah, I'm going to meet you guys back once I have reached this corner at the back and everything has a nice border around it. Okay, so I've just finished making the border, and then I single crocheted around the edge of the top of the bag, and now I've reached the other side, so I'm just going to slip stitch into sort of the nearest single crochet to join everything together, and then I'm just going to chain 1 and fasten off. So I'm now going to weave that end in, and then I am going to show you how to make the bag strap. So I'm going to grab 2 stitch markers just to help me visualize and map out where I want the bag strap to, kind of the thickness of the bag strap to be. So I'm going to basically hold both of the bag strap panels together, and I'm going to count back probably about 10 stitches from the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can make this more or less if you want to, and then I'm just going to kind of see where the stitch is on the back and check that that is also 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm just going to place my stitch marker in the back panel stitch, so the 10th back panel stitch there, and then into the 10th front panel stitch. So just again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's there. So now that I open it, that is how thick the bag strap is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my hook and grab the yarn of choice. I'm going to be using cream for the bag strap. I'm going to make a slip knot. And again, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed, will mean that you either start in the front panel stitch marker or the back panel stitch marker. So if you're right-handed, you'll start in the back panel stitch marker. If you're left-handed, you'll start in the front panel stitch marker. So I'm going to insert my hook into the front panel stitch marker. I'm going to bring the slip knot through and chain 1, and then I'm going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch, just making sure I don't catch the stitch marker. So that's the first half double crochet, and then I'm going to make 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across until I reach the green stitch marker. So going into each stitch and I'm making a half double crochet. So I've just finished my last half double crochet, which was in the green stitch marker, and so for the next row, and this is the row that we'll be repeating, I'm just going to turn the work and I'm going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch, and then I'm going to make a half double crochet into each stitch across, so all the way across. And I'm going to continue row 2 of just making a half double crochet into each stitch across until the side of this bag strap reaches about 11 inches, and then I am going to come back once I have my 11 inches and then fasten off, and we are going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to come back after I have got 11 inches of the bag strap, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I've just finished my last row of the first half of the bag strap, so I'm now going to chain 1 and fasten off, and you're going to want to make sure that you leave a longish tail on one of the bag straps because we're going to crochet them together. So this is what it's looking like. I've done one half of the bag strap. I'm now going to repeat the exact same steps on the other side, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we attach the straps together, and then we have finished the bag. Okay, so I've just finished my last row for the second strap, and now I'm just going to chain 1 and fasten off. And for your second strap, you don't need a long tail, you can just cut the tail short. And then what you're going to do is you're going to join, just hold your two bag straps together, and then you're going to turn them the other way. So we'll be working on the wrong side, and then we'll be crocheting along this edge, and then when we have finished crocheting along the edge and fastening off, we will flip it back and it will be on the right side. So just as a recap, you're going to make sure that your bag is on the right side and the straps are on the right side and join them together, and then you're going to flip them, kind of twist them around. So when you twist them back, it should be all nice and straight, so make sure that it's not twisted. And because I crochet from left to right, I'm going to be making sure that my string is starting on the left. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch of this front panel and the first stitch of this back panel, and then with the long string I'm just going to yarn over and pull the string through the back panel and then through the front panel like that, and then I'm just going to chain 1, 2 to join it. So basically what we're going to do from this point forward is we're going to single crochet through both panels all the way across, and I'm going to weave in this short tail as I go, and I'm just going to kind of roughly match the stitches together. Obviously if you're using like a normal double knit yarn, the stitches will be much clearer to see, and you will just go through the corresponding stitch on the back panel. However, because mine are a little bit more difficult to see, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful. But yeah, I'm basically just going to go into the next stitch of the front panel insert my hook in, and I'm going to loop this little tail over so that it is included, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch of the back panel so that both stitches are now on hook, and then I'm going to make a single crochet through both. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through both panels. Now 2 loops on the hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops to make that single crochet. And I'm basically going to repeat this all the way across, so I'm going into the next stitch of the front panel and the next stitch of the back panel, and then making a single crochet through both panels. The yarn I'm using makes it a little bit fiddly, but if you're using like a normal smooth yarn then it should be fine. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this all the way across, going into the next stitch of the front panel and the next stitch of the back panel, and then making a single crochet, and I'm continuing this all the way across, so I will meet you back once I've reached my last single crochet. So I've just finished my last single crochet, so I'm now going to just chain 1 and fasten off, and then I'm just going to pull that through. Then I'm just going to weave the tail into some of the single crochet stitches with my hook. And then when you flip it back, you should notice that you have a nice seamless edge and nothing's twisted, and the bag strap is, attached at the top. So this is what the strap is looking like. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you have any ideas of what you'd like me to make next, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.